Hello everyone, my name is Ronak and you're watching Vector. In this tutorial, we are going to build a powerful PDF tool from scratch using C Sharp and WPF. This tool will allow you to compress PDF files to reduce their size, merge multiple PDFs into one, and split PDF into individual pages or extract specific ranges. Whether you are a beginner or have some experience with C Sharp and WPF, this tutorial will guide you through steps explaining the code in detail. We will cover everything from setting up the WPF project to implementing the core PDF processing logic using the PDFSharp library. By the end of this video, you will have a fully functional PDF tool that you can customize and expand upon. So here you can see we have some of the features like compressed PDF, and then you have merge PDF and split PDF. We'll take a look at this soon. So some of the prerequisites. So before we start, you make sure you have Visual Studio installed with the .NET Framework 4.8 or later. You'll also be using PDFSharp library, which we can install via the NuGet package manager. So let's start by fire up Visual Studio, and let's get straight into the video. For those who haven't subscribed, please do subscribe to my channel. It motivates me to create more such videos. So let's start by opening Visual Studio on your machine. Let's click on create a new project. Select WPF app with .NET Framework, or you can also find it here in the templates. I have it under my recent template, so I'll go ahead and select it and click next. Let's give this project a name, PDF tool, and let's select the framework as 4.8, which is the latest, and click on create. So now that the project is loaded, let's add the PDFSharp library. So here on the tools, let's go to NuGet package manager, manage NuGet packages, and search for PDFSharp. Let's select the browse button, and here the first option by PDFSharp team, select that NuGet package and select your project and click on install. Click on apply and wait for the NuGet package to be installed. So here you can see it is installed. So let's close this window, and now let's start by designing the main window. So let's open main window.xaml, and we will use a grid as the main layout container. And this will add the basic structure for our dashboard, merge, split, and compress views. For now, we will just include the placeholder text blocks to identify each view. So here I will copy and paste the snippet that I have to make things easier and faster. Otherwise, this video will be a long one. So I have this video code ready, and I will copy and paste it in our grid. So here let me change the view of my layout here, and here you can see I have added this grid, and this has for the first grid as dashboard view, the next one is the merge view, split view, and the compress view. So we can right now the first view, that is the grid one, which is the dashboard, is visible, and the rest of the views are collapsed, which means they are not visible. So next we will add an enum called app view in the main window.xaml.cs, which is the code behind for our window. So here we are going to go ahead and add an app view. So let's copy that and paste it here above our constructor. So this is the first app view, and this enum will make it easier to manage the view switching logic. So now that we have just talked about the switching logic, so this is the switching logic between the window, dashboard, merge, split, and so on. So let's create this switching method. So to create a switch method that takes this app view as an input and set the visibility of the corresponding view to visible and collapse the others, we need to add this switching logic code. So let me copy this code that I have for the switching logic and paste it in the code. So I will go ahead and add the switching logic. So this is the switching logic where you can see it takes these grids and changes its visibility to default collapse, and based on the view it is changing the dashboard visibility or the merge view visibility to visible based on the app view or the enum value. So next we need to add some button clicks handlers so that we can switch between the dashboard or the merge or the switch or the split view. So to do that, let's add click handlers for the navigation buttons. So let me go and copy the code that I have. And then I'll go ahead and paste in this event handlers. So the first one is to handle the go to dashboard click event, which will call this switch view, and we will pass the app view dot dashboard so that it switches the visibility to visible for the dashboard. And the same thing goes for the other event handlers, which will switch the respective views. So now the next part of this application would be to implement the first one, that is the merge PDF functionality. So for the UI design of the merge view, we need to go to our main window.xaml where we have the merge view grid, and within this section we are going to add our controls so that we can merge PDFs. So let's design the UI for our merge view. This will include a list box to display the files to merge, a button to select the files, a button to clear the list, and a button to start the merge process. We'll also add a text block as a drag and drop target. We'll do all of this soon. So here is before that, we need an observable collection for the files to merge. So in the main window.xaml.cs, we'll create an observable collection of type string called files to merge to store the path of the PDF files to merge. So let me go to app view or the code behind, and after our app view, let me paste in the observable collection of type string called files to merge, and this we will be using to merge the files. So next is the select merge files dot click event handler. So to implement this select merge files dot click event handler, this is the code that I'm going to paste, and what this will do is it will use the open file dialog. Let me paste in the code first so that it will be easier to understand. So here after our event handlers, I will go ahead and paste this code. So here you can see it will use this open file dialog to allow the users to first select multiple files. So here multi-select is true, and the filters are PDF files of type dot star dot pdf or star dot pdf, and the title of this open dialog would be select files PDF files to merge. And next, what for each files that it's selected, it will add this file selected to this observable collection files to merge. So this is the select merge files event handler. Next, we will need the event handler for the clear merge list. So this is the for the clear button. So let me go ahead and add the code. So here after our select merge files, let's add the clear merge list. So this will be triggered on the button clear, and it will simply clear this observable collection. Next is to implement the merge file click. So the merge file click button event handler will implement the core merging logic in the merge files click event handler. It will check if there are at least two files selected. It will use a save file dialog to get the output file path. It will iterate through the files to merge collection, which is the observable collection, and open each PDF using pdfreader.open and copy its pages to the output document and save the output document. So here is the code that we will be adding, and here you can see it starts with checking the count of the observable collection files to merge, and if there are not if the file size file count is not greater than 2, then it will display this message, please select at least 2 PDF files to merge. And then if there are more than 2 files, then it will open this save file dialog. So this will be the indication on after the merge action is complete, where do we save the file. So this will capture where the file has to be saved, and what is the format, and what is the title, and what is the file name. And then it will show the dialog. You will select the dialog, and then it will open the dialog. You open the PDF files one by one, and this part over here will merge the PDFs process, and finally it will show you the message called successfully merged, the number of files that you have selected, and the merge title is merge complete. So and then finally the operation of merging the files would be complete. So next is to um, implement the drag and drop feature in this merge module. So right now we can select files, you can also drag and drop files. So to implement this drag enter event handler to the merge view and set the effects and drag and drop effects, we need this following code. So let me copy this code and paste it here after our merge files. And as you can see, this is the merge file drop event, and we need this is the merge files drag enter event, and next it will also we need the drop event. So to implement the drop event handler, that will handle the dropped files, and the filter also needs to be set to PDF files, so that when you drop the files it will check if those are PDF files and it will only accept PDF files. So to do that we need one more event handler, and all of these events or the methods will be called from the draw, should be tied to our UI elements, which we have not done as of now. So we are just writing the code behind, and we'll soon tie these event handlers to the buttons or the controls. So let me paste in the event handler, and here you can see the code which will check get the files, and it will check if the file extension is PDF, and then it will add to this observable collection, which is the files to merge. The same operation happens when you open the file dialog and select multiple files using the mouse. In this case we are going to select the files and drag and drop them into this text block, which will act as our area where it will add these drop files to our observable collection. So next, we have to work on implementing the split PDF functionality. But let's save this first and see what this error is. Okay, so I think this is a reference to a different path. So we need system.io. So let me change the reference here. Let me remove this first and then go to the path and change it to system.io instead of system.space, and then this get extension error would be resolved. So now that we have finished the merge functionality, which had three buttons and a drag and drop functionality. So we finished the select files, we finished the clear files, and we finished the code for the merge files, and also we took care of the drag and drop functionality. Next, we will look at implementing the split PDF functionality. So the UI design for the split peer view in main window.xaml should be the design. The UI for the split view will include the text block to display the selected files, radio buttons to choose between splitting into individual pages or extracting a range of pages, a text box for the page range. So if we select a range of pages, we need a text box to enter the range, and a button to start the splitting process. So here is what the code will look like. So first would be the file to split property. So in our main window.xaml.cs, we will create a string property called file to split to store the path of the PDF file to split, and implement the iNotify property change to update the UI when the file changes. So let's copy the code and go to the top, and after our observable collection, let me paste in these properties. One is the file to split, and the getter and setter for the file to split, and the property changed event handler that will be invoked on the change of a property. And we also need the iNotify property changed for the data binding. So let me go ahead and after our window implement, not implement, but add this uh, interface. And now that is done, let me save this application, just rebuild it once again just to rule out any errors that we have missed. So the build is successful. Now let's start implementing the functionalities of the split file. So we'll take a look at all of these. So first let me copy the code for the split file click, which is the main important functionality of the split file. So we had, let me minimize all of these. uh, so merge, drop, and drop. Now we have the code for splitting the file, and you can see we have a few errors, so we would need some of the things that we missed. So let's add an enum for splitting options. So for the splitting options, we would need the individual split or a range split. So we need an enum for that, so that will take care of this error. And then we also need to fix the split individual radio pages dot checks. Right now this control is not available, that's why it we have an error, and this will be coming from the UI once we add the XAML code for it. So we'll take care of it later. We also need the other two clear and select split file click event handlers. So let's paste in the code for the select split file and the clear split file. And here you can see the code for select split file, which will open the dialog of type filter PDFs, and you will select the files and it will add it to the files to split uh, variable. And then you have, and that is the variable that we added over here, the files to split. And then we have the split clear split file click, which will change the value of files to split to null and the split page range to empty. Right now this property is not available, so let me go ahead and add that. So let me add this property called split page range, and we also need a getter and setter for this property. So next, let's create a helper method called parse page range to parse the page ranges string from the text box. And this method should handle different formats like 1-2 or 1-3, which means I need to split the page range from 2 to 3 or 5 to 6 and 1, 3, 5, 6, or and so on. So the formats will be specified in the UI. So based on this format, the user will split the file. So let me paste in the code that will parse the page range, and this function will take the range and the maximum pages and provide return the page numbers of type list. And here in our split file click, we have the option to check whether a split option is individual or if it is a range. So right now we have not implemented the range logic, so let me implement the range logic over here. So this is our else part, which will process the range logic, and it will, you see here we are making use of the page range function, which will provide the split range and the total count of our input document. And if the pages to extract is null or the count is 0, then it will throw an error. If everything is fine, then it will open the document, start processing or extracting the pages, and it will save the output document to the file where you have ask the file to be saved. And finally it will show a message box with the successful extracted pages. So that is the save functionality, split functionality using the individual and the parsing logic of the page ranges. Next, the final component would be the compress, and we took care of the split files and the merge files. So let's start by writing the code for the compress functionality. So in the main window.xaml, let's make the following changes by creating the property called file to compress, similar to the one that we added, which is the file to split. So let's add these first. First, we will add the enum, which is the compression level, which will capture the high, medium, and low value. Then we need the property called file to compress, and we also need a getter and setter for this file to compress property. So let's also add that. not in here, but outside. So we have our file to compress, and it there is an error here, but this will go away once we add the UI elements. So we'll take care of it soon. Next, we need the select compression file click and the clear compression file click event handler. So let's go ahead and add those functionalities. So here at the end, let's add the select compression file click. This is again the similar kind of functionality where it will open a dialog box which will allow you to only select PDF files, and it will add this to our newly created file to compress object. So then we need the clear compress file click, which will clear the selected files. And finally, we need the compress file click event handler, which will actually compress the files. So let me go ahead and add that code. And here you can see our compress file click will first check if there are any PDF files selected. If not, it will throw an error. Next, it will open a dialog explaining where you want to save the file after you have compressed the PDF file. And then it will show the dialog. You will select the file, and it will then start capturing the original size of the document. Next, it will take the existing properties of the file or the document, because it will first read the document into this PDF document variable, and then it will take all the documents options and then start updating these properties to compress the file. Right now, this functionality is not so good at compressing the files, but you get the logic of how it will allow us to compress the files. So there are some of the properties here. So the flat encode mode is set to this best compression, and then you have images. If there are if the PDF contains images, then it will allow those images also to be compressed, and I have set that property to always. Then compression content streams to be true, no compression is equal to false, and so on. So these properties will allow the code to compress the files using this PDFSharp library. Although it does not do a good job, but there will be improvements soon. You can also try out other libraries if you wish to. Then you have this radio button, the checkbox, which is right now not available in the UI because our UI is very simple right now and there are no controls, but we will add them next. So this will check if we are trying to convert, if we choose to convert the PDF to grayscale, we can add that code over here. Right now I'm not going to dive into that much. Finally, it will save the document to the desired location that you selected in the open file dialog, and it will tell you some of the stats on how much was the file size and what is the file size after compression. So this is the simple logic on how to implement the compression. Now we will start with the code, or not the code, but the UI. So let's start by creating the UI elements. So first, let's change some of the properties of our main window. So for starters, let me change the title, and minimum width and minimum height, and some of the background and fonts of this window. So I will go ahead and change this. So here I have set the, let me, yeah, resize this. And here I have set the title to PDF Smart Tools. Height is 700, width is set to 900, and some of the minimum width and height. And Windows startup location is center screen, and the background is set to this color of blue, and the font family is also set over here. Next, we are going to work on the UI elements. So first, let's take the dashboard view, and within our dashboard, we will add a stack panel that will hold most of the logic that we need for our dashboard. So I will first copy in the code that I have and paste it within our grid over here. So as soon as I add that, you can see all these errors here because we have not yet added the resources. So here you can see we have some static resources that will be coming in from the windows.resources. But before that, I would like to explain what we have here. We have a stack panel, and then we have the big title, PDF Smart Tools, which is an image, and then we have a text block. So the image right now does not appear because the source is not available. So I will go to the properties, go to this downloaded images from icons 8, and I will select this icons 8 PDF and click on add. Doing so should take care of the error that I have over here. Then we have the text block, which is this PDF Smart Tools, and it has this foreground static resource which is right now not available, so we have an error. Then we have the second text block which shows this text: one simple app, three smart tools. And then you have a subtext which is also a text block, and it has some um, foreground properties. Then we have a next stack panel, which is its orientation is horizontal. It has a border for each of the options that we have: compress, merge, and split. All the three are similar, so I'll just go ahead and explain the first one. So it has a stack panel within it, and then we have an image here on the top. This image is right now not available, so I will go ahead and select the compress icon that I have, and then that will take care of the error. Then we have a text block, some subtext, and a button that will trigger the go to compress click, which we have added here on the top. So go to compress click, and it will call the switch view, and our app view will tell us the which file has to be selected. So here it will go ahead and make these views visible, or the stack grids visible based on the selection. So that is that. Then the other three buttons are also similar. So to fix this view, let's add some Windows resources, and I will explain what these resources will do. So I have my Windows resources. So above our grid, I'm going to add these resources, and you can see as soon as I added these resources, all the errors are resolved. So let's start from the start here. Here are some of the colors that I've been using. So the primary colors, these are all solid color brushes, and I've given these names so that I can reference them in our um, controls later on. Then we have icons of path geometry. I don't need them because instead of this path geometry, I am using the actual icons. But here you can see I have the compress icon, icons merge, icon split, and icon upload. So I'll leave it as is for now, but these are not being used. Then we have the base button style. So here is a style for our base button, where you can see we have set a padding, font size, font weight, foreground, and then we have the cursor style, border thickness, and the template property. Within this template, we are setting how the button should look like, what is the corner radius of our button, which is 15 over here, and the alignment of our content, and what happens when we hover over the button, and what happens when the button is pressed. So this is our base button style. And then we have the button styles for a primary button, success button, warning button, danger, secondary, and so on. So it is based on our base button, which is the style over here. On top of that, we have the property of the background set to this static resource, and which the value is taken from this accent button, which is this solid color brush over here. So this is where these solid color brushes are being used, and each of the button, you can see it is based on the base template, plus the background is set to this static resource that we described on the top. And this is the base template for the radio button, and it also follows the similar process like the button, and that is all that we have. So if I rebuild, there are some errors, but here you can see our image is now loaded, and you can see these images on the UI. There are some errors on the UI elements because we have not written the code for the other views. So let me minimize those and start adding the code for merge view, split view, and the compress view. So let me remove this text block and paste in the code for the merge view. And to see how the view looks like, so let me make this as collapsed, the dashboard view, and make the merge view visible. And this is how the merge view looks like. And I will also go ahead here, and like I said, the icons right now. So this is the first block, the stack panel on the top, which has a text block, and it also has an path here, which is referring to the icon or the path geometry icon merge. I will go ahead and change this to an image. So instead of writing all of this, I will just say image. and the image has a width of 24 to 24, stretch is uniform, margin vertical, center. And the last thing that is have to update it is the source of the image. So let me go ahead and select the merge file path, and here you can see we have the icon for the merge. And then we have some columns and rows where our file values are pressed. So here we have a border, and within our border we have a list box, and this list box is to show the list of files that you have selected to be merged. And then you have a drag and drop zone. This is also a border, and within our border we have a stack panel, and within our stack panel we have the text block and the button that will select the files if you choose to select the files, and if you choose to drop the files, the whole um, border area has this drag enter and drop enter functions that we wrote in the code behind, which will allow a user to drag and drop the files on this zone. So that is why we called it the drop zone. And then we finally have the action zone, which houses the buttons that will call the go to dashboard, clear, merge, and finally the merge files event handler. Next, we will fix the um, split view. So let me go ahead and paste in the code for the split view. So here is the code for the split view. Again, I will have to go ahead and make this as collapsed for the merge, and make the split view visible. Again, it is a similar kind of layout as the merge, where you have a title and an image. So here, instead of this path, I will change this to an image, and then I will also set a source for this image. This is the split, so let me select the split icon. And then you have the area where you can drag and drop the files. So here you can see we have the split file drop and enter file drop event handlers. And you have a stack panel where you have the text block, and then you also have the split options of splitting an individual page or extracting the page range. So this is where the parser comes into place. When you enter the value of the pages here that you want to split, it will call the parser and it will move to the section where the parser code is available. So, and then the three common buttons for going to home, which is the dashboard, clearing the files, and splitting the PDF itself. Finally, we have the code for the before that. Let me change this to collapsed, and then let's go paste in the code for the compressed. So there you go. And let's change this to visible. And this is exactly a similar layout as the split, so I'm not going to explain it. And let's save this, see if all our errors have gone. We have two more errors, and the property change file to compress display name is missing. And let's see how we can fix that. So we're missing two properties that we failed to add, and let's add them here. And these properties are to display the just the file name in the UI. So here we have added these two properties, and this is fixed, and I will go ahead and build our application. And before that, I will make this collapsed and make the dashboard visible by default. And hopefully this project should work as expected, but there are some errors, and let's see what the errors are. Okay, so it says that the main window does not contain a definition for split file drop and split file drop. Okay, so let's see where we missed something. Okay, so we have uh, file drop, merge files, clear files, compress files. Okay, so I think we missed adding the code for split files drop. So let's go ahead and add those after our split file. We have split file drop, which is similar to the merge file drop, and we also need a compress file drop, now that we remember. So After our compress file, we will add the compress file drop, which will also do the similar option or similar functionality. And now let's see if the errors are gone. Let me go ahead and build, and there are no more errors. Let me start the application, and hopefully our application should run. So one last thing that is left to do is set the data context to this, and also start at the dashboard view, the dashboard which is the default view for our tool. So let me go ahead and run the application, minimize this, and start with the split PDF. So I have a PDF over here which is called specification, and I'll go ahead and select this PDF file, open, and here I have the option of splitting it into individual pages or extracting a page range. So let me select the individual page option, and when I click on split PDF, it will ask me where I want to put this files into. I'll click a new folder over here. I'll say individual, and let me select this and click on save. And now it says successfully split the files into 8 pages, because the initial file had 8 pages. So let me bring that screen forward over here, and you can see within my desktop I have specifications, and within the specification I have 8 split pages. So here you can see, if I open this document, it had a total of 8 pages. And if I open these individual pages now, so this is page 1, and then you have the other pages like page 8. So this is how it will split the PDFs. We can also now try the option where we can merge the pages. So I'll just clear this, go back, merge PDF, select the files, all of these files, and click open. You can see all of the files here, and just click on merge PDF, give this place this in the desktop called merged, and save this, and all the successfully merged 8 files are available to use. And here you can see it also opens the files after it merges. So here you can see the all the pages that we split are merged. Last option is to uh, try out the compressed PDF option. So here in our window, let me bring that forward here again. You can see that the size is 3644 KB, and let's try and compressing the PDF. Like I said earlier, the compression does not work flawlessly, so I have set it as high compression. But and let's see how much it does. I don't think it will do much, but still it is a try. And it gives this project a file a name, specification underscore compressed, and let's click on save. And the file has been reduced by minus 0.03%, which is not a lot. And that is why PDFSharp has to work on improving this functionality of compressing PDF. And here you have the file, which is actually a KB higher than what it was. So this functionality is not working as expected, but I will try to look into this feature more. But there you go, guys. This is the code for creating a simple WPF app, which will convert a PDF, compress a PDF, merge and split PDF using simple NuGet packages. Hope you all liked watching this video. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up. I will leave a link to this code repository in the description. Please download and try it for yourself. You can also use it to split and merge PDFs instead of going online and downloading or providing your personal files on the internet. So hope you all like watching this video. Until then, bye bye.